Welcome to the Lady Up America podcast. I'm Diane Canada, your host. I am so glad you're here today, ladies. Thanks for joining me. I am so excited about today's show. It's going to bless you in ways that I can't even express. You're going to meet Daniela Carothers today, and she's going to give us a really good inside view of what it's like to grow up in a Marxist nation. Luckily, she's here in America now and is an American citizen, but so much perspective and insight you're going to gain from hearing her story today and how you can get more comfortable talking about this with the people in your sphere of influence. So I'll be right back.
Lady up around this town. Lady up around this town. Victory on the battleground. We claim it now. Lady up, lady up. Lady up, lady up.
All right, ladies, welcome back. Thank you so much again for joining us. I can't wait for you to meet Daniela. I have had the privilege of knowing her now for a few years, and I've heard her story several times. And I just feel so strongly that as many women as possible need to hear her story. Daniela grew up in Marxist Romania, and she was a little girl coming up under a tyrannical dictator there. And she's now an American citizen. But I just want you to hear her journey and what it was actually like day to day. We hear this term Marxist, but what does it actually mean in our day-to-day lives? So let's get really practical. Let's get really personal today about it. And please welcome to the show, Daniela Carothers. Hi, Daniela.
Hi, Diane. Thank you so much for having me back.
You are so welcome. Thank you for coming back and just for being so open and willing to share your story with us again. Daniela, I talk about you a lot in my speeches that I give and in workshops. I often reference the stories that you've shared with me. And it just, God just laid it on my heart that we need to hear it again. So without having to put you through this, I'm so sorry that we have to put you through this.
No, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to share my story, Diane. People, they need to hear the story.
They do. They really do. A lot of parallels going on, and from what you witnessed personally as a child coming up in that regime. Let's draw first, if we can, just comparisons between. Let's just do like an overview first. Comparisons between what you see happening in America and what you witnessed in Romania. What are some parallels right now we could draw?
Well, I'm looking at the way the people who are going against the regime are put through things that they're so unnormal for United States, and I'm referring to the court system that is happening right now. Look how people that they speak against this regime, Biden regime that's happening right now. They're so persecuted. I mean, moms that they just wanted to protect their children from being masked in schools or mask mandates. They're being actually persecuted and trialed for just speaking out loud things that they don't want their children to go through. I mean, this is like, where's the freedom of speech in America? This is so much Marxist right now. I mean, it's just. I'm looking, this is not freedom. And if people, they're not seeing that yet, I hope they're gonna see it quickly. They're gonna wake up quickly and see it, because it's a pretty scary thing. I'm just in awe of things that they're developing quickly these days.
Yeah, we look at things like what you just said, mask mandates. We look at the trans movement where people can actually have control over trying to change the gender of your child and not even tell you about it.
Yes.
And take your child away from you in certain states if you oppose it. There are so many things like this going on, but let's go back into your childhood for a minute. So when someone is under a Marxist dictator, in their day-to-day life, when it comes to doing things like buying groceries or getting health care, we hear people championing universal health care here in America. All of these socializing everything. Can you maybe give us a couple of stories of how that played out in your day-to-day life?
Yes. So, for example, let's refer to the groceries first of all, to begin, because this is everyday thing. People, they have to eat. We all eat to survive. So we're starting with that. First of all, there were no groceries in Romania. There were no groceries. You go to the store during communism, during the Marxist Ceausescu's time, and there'll be no groceries. You go in the store, you want to buy a chicken, there will be no chicken. You're going to want to buy a piece of cheese, there will not be cheese. You think about bananas, oranges, that was a dream. Some of kids my age, they didn't even know at that time what is a banana. They never saw a banana, because keep in mind, there was not internet at that time. There were no outside communications whatsoever. You're not allowed to talk to anything outside Romania. So
let's break that down for just a sec, if we can stop there for a minute. So when you say that you would go in and there would be no chicken, no cheese, none of these types of vegetables that we take for granted every day, you would have money to buy those things, but they just wouldn't be available?
Correct. And for American people to actually have a good picture of that, it's like COVID time, the first week I'll refer to, when I remember going to Costco and all that beautiful shelves full with stuff in Costco store was empty. They were empty. There was nothing there. There was nothing, not even rice. Nothing was in Costco. And I remember walking through the aisles and just tears coming to my eyes, because I just couldn't, and it's still very emotional to me, because I couldn't believe that this is happening to America. Now, of course, was a different situation, was not communist, but I just want American people to picture what is to go into the store and not find nothing to buy.
Yeah, the shelves just empty, cleaned out, empty.
Cleaned up, empty.
Yeah.
You have to stay hours. So my parents and I was 14 years old when they killed Ceausescu. So I grew up pretty much, I was quite young, but I still remember living all these things, because we'll stay hours and hours and hours at a time, me and my mom or me and my dad, to just get maybe like half a pound of cheese, or maybe some chicken wings. Wow. Or some anything you can think of, like bananas or oranges, or I'm talking about this this day-to-day fruits and vegetables and milk and cheese and meats that we need. That people, we don't even give a second thought that you will go to the store, you won't be able to buy it. Let alone to come from 8 hours of work and dealing with terrible transportations that existed back then. People, they're literally hanging on the stairs of the bus to just get back to their homes. And then you in lines for hours just to get a half pound of cheese. And then many times my parents, or they will drag me with them, because they will get an extra half a pound, just kind of last you for a little longer. So that's and this is just this, you talk about one item, then tomorrow you go and stay in line again for chicken breast, or a chicken that actually we are like, we have no saying calling them petreuși, because that's a Romanian saying. It's just the chicken would be as big as my fist. There was that was the size of the chicken at the time. So
the main reason why the shelves were empty was because of a lack of free markets, I would imagine. There was no competitive markets. It was just basically an allotment that the government would bring in, and then when it was gone, it was gone.
Yes, and also whatever was good at that time, they will export everything. Ceausescu, I'm not sure if people in America know, but Ceausescu was building it's called the House of People, that it's actually located in Bucharest. It's the second largest building in the world after Pentagon, just to get a picture. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
that's yeah. So for him, I mean, that cost billions of dollars at that time. And so what he wanted to do is to be debt free. I mean, in his mind, that was not a bad idea if you take it that way. But what he did, he actually squeezed the Romanian people in such a way that we couldn't even live or breathe anymore, because everything that Romania will produce at that time will export everything. Everything was
Wow.
exported, so it was nothing
Wow.
for us left there.
So he would starve his own people
Yes.
in order to sell it and
Yes.
for the money.
Yeah.
And this is such a common experience with people under Marxism. Something else I wanted to bring up was the healthcare. And, when we hear young people, especially now, chanting, healthcare for all, Medicare for all, there were some pretty chilling stories you had around medicine about how that plays out in a person's life. I'd love for you to share the story about what would happen if someone called an ambulance after a certain age.
Yeah, so it was considered like after 75, 80 years old, you're too old to call the ambulance. You're not a priority anymore. You're not used to the party. You cannot be a horse that can pull the dragon, like the carry behind you, and you're just a waste. So they could just get rid of you quickly. They're not a value. People of age, they're not a value anymore.
They're just disposable.
Disposable, yes. When I'm hearing Kamala Harris talking about, free healthcare, I know how that goes down. Because I know these people, they're heartless. They will not care for older folks. Yeah. And they'll be disposed of them quickly.
Yeah. So if someone is having a heart attack in their living room at 75 years old and they call the ambulance ain't coming.
No, they're not coming. No. Good luck with that.
That's just, I don't know of anything less compassionate than that, the party of compassion.
Yeah.
Some other things that you shared about the healthcare is, tell us about the conditions, the sanitary conditions of hospitals.
Well, if I would say that a public restroom in America will be cleaner than a medical setting in Romania at that time, this is true statement.
Wow.
That was terrible. I mean, there'll be no people were freezing in those hospital rooms. The tile from the walls will be cracked or falling down, and the mold was probably thick. I mean, you can see all the black mold growing around, because when it's so cold outside and you have no heating inside, it's just a breeding ground for bacteria and mold to grow there. Yeah. Toilets, I mean, think about like the main things: toilet paper or things that they're suffering, they need, or showers. There were not such a things. Sheets.
Wow.
I mean, I wish I had next time when we meet, I'm going to bring you some pictures.
Yeah, it's chilling to think about that. And this is the thing; these are the things that people don't think about when they talk about ushering in socialized medicine without competition. And, we always want to relate this back to the 7 values that I teach about and about free markets. This is why it's so important when we talk about free markets, because if we don't have competition, healthy competition, then there's no incentive for any organization, a hospital or a business or a grocery store, anyone, to impress you, to keep up, to keep things clean, to keep things, in such a way that you would want to come there. When all of that goes away, then you're just at the mercy of the government. And that is like I said, a very chilling picture that you paint of what that would actually look like in your day-to-day life.
Absolutely. And what actually a communist government does, it's encouraging corruption.
Yeah.
It's a breeding ground for corruption, because what happened we're talking about the medical care at the time.
Okay.
There was no medication in the hospitals. Um, People, they were prioritized by the way you're paying the doctor, and we're just laughing because I mean, I was just laughing kind of. I just got back from vacation and I read this book. It's called I Must Betray You, and it's written by an American writer, actually from Nashville, believe it or not. And she interviewed a lot of people out there in Romania, and the main thing that what they did, you go there with either cash or Kent, the cigarettes, Kent. Everybody was smoking Kent. I mean, Kent and Lux. There was the Lux soaps. There was the bribing elements for the doctors, nurses, just to get you to change your whatever for the surgeries, or to even get a surgery, to get some sort of priority, to get
Wow.
change your sheets. I mean, it's still happening today, because sadly, when corruption takes place, it's eroding the whole system, and you will not be able to get it back ever again, because unless you get rid of the people, because the mentality sits in and will stay in there forever.
Yeah. One thing we say a lot, that if government can give you everything, they can also take it away.
Absolutely.
And they do. From what you saw, government, I mean, human nature is going to be always bent toward corruption anyway. The only thing that keeps us from that is a moral code. And so
Correct.
when government, that greed kicks in and all of that, then there's all these back alley deals that go on. And as you just showed, the people will suffer for that. Do you think they're like with these people, especially the young people that don't really understand, when they say things like, "Oh, well, socialism has just never been tried properly." It's other countries have failed at socialism. We know how to do it right. What would your message be to those people?
It's easy to say these things when you own nothing.
Right.
When you own nothing, it's very easy to say these things. But I will say to them, well, you got a degree. I want to come in. I want to take away your degree. I want you to give it to me, just like that. This is because it's communism. I mean, it's free for me to have what you have, and for you to have what I have. So I want your degree, whichever it is. I think it's going to be good for me. I want to have your degree, and if you have, I don't know, Lululemon clothes or whatever they're dressing, I don't know. I'm just giving some silly examples here, but. Yeah. Because, like I said, they don't own much to know what they're talking about. I want their clothes. I want their car. Because why not? We're just sharing it.
You know what I think they think? And tell me, and I'd love your feedback on this. I don't think they understand that anybody would be taking anything from them. I think in their minds, they think that everybody would just have what they have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they understand that they would have to give up anything. I think what they think in their minds is that, well, America is just so rich that everybody should just have the same things. So they don't have that connection to the fact that in order to give things to other people, that they're going to have to take it from someone else.
Right. Well, you got to take it from somewhere else. This is how what communism is. You take freedom. You take farms, you take factories, you take everything away from people. You just can't. Whatever you own, you don't have a right to own anything. And it just kind of brings me to what I think was Klaus Schwab said: "You own nothing, and you will be happy." That's kind of like wrong way to put it, because you can't own nothing and be happy. It's just stupid.
Yes.
You work and you produce fruit, and then you enjoy those fruit of your labor. It's just a biblical element here, but it's very true. And this is how it goes. You work, you have. You don't work, you don't have. It's just simple. It's a simple thing.
My husband's father used to say, the only reason why an able-bodied man is homeless is because of choice.
Oh, Hey,
And
Dan, I go even further than that. I told my husband, if you're an American citizen or American, you come in America and you're poor, you're either two things, stupid or lazy. That's, I know it's very harsh.
it's hard, but a lot of it's true. And I will say this, that running for office, I did get a little bit deeper perspective into one thing. And I think it really ties into our conversation today. There is a mental slavery that happens, whatever color someone is. It doesn't matter. But there's like a mental prison that people are in where they don't understand that they could have better. They don't understand what better looks like. They don't understand that they could reach for that. So there's like a lot of generational mental limitations on
Yeah.
people. And so I think that that does play a role. But the very people that are putting those limitations on them are the very ones they continue to vote for over and over and over again. You know, that the idea of government taking care of them, people on welfare, people that are on government assistance. This is the mentality that just continues to perpetuate
Yes.
generation to generation. So if there was any truth to that, we would see those sectors of our population thriving, not still limited. You know, so the government handouts are just a big mental prison, I think, keeping
Yeah.
people dependent, keeping them dependent on government. And it just, I wish so many eyes would open to that meritocracy, which means, you know, you get ahead by the merit, by the character, content of your character and how hard you're willing to work for things and your work ethic. And it is, and also, Daniela, I feel like when people don't get the opportunity to take their potential out for a test drive like that and see what they're capable of, I think it robs them of dignity and that sense of accomplishment, that sense of pushing past very uncomfortable and sometimes impossible odds to achieve something, that sense of being proud of themselves from doing that. I hate that that's lost. All of that is lost under
It's very
Marxism.
sad. It's very sad. It's very sad because what they do, they just limit people of just getting that monthly government paycheck, whatever that amount is, and they're just stuck there and they will never be able to get out. I mean, they are able because we're living still in the greatest country in the world.
Yes.
And I still believe that, and I still believe there are a lot of opportunities here and chances and choices. But people, they have to step out of their comfort zone and move forward towards a goal, whatever it is. As long as you're moving and you're not getting stuck out there in that mud pile, because it's a mud pile and then they can see around them. That's that's always going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's always going to
I
be.
think it's your voice again is just so important for people to hear the dangers, how Marxism actually plays out. The idea of it might sound enchanting to some people, that everyone's just going to share and we're going to have, you know, a lot less people that are in poverty and all that. But what I've come to see is that Marxism does not distribute freedom. Marxism distributes poverty and government. Just government corruption. That's what it distributes.
It does.
As we kind of wrap up here today, I want to play a song here for people in just a minute about, it's a song that is special to you, and I'm going to let you talk about it. But before we do, can you tell people a little bit about how you feel about these open borders versus the way you came here legally and you went through citizenship classes and you learned to love America and what we stood for? What are the dangers there of just opening up the borders?
You know, when you invite somebody into your house, you always kind of check them out. You know, you have to develop a relationship with that person, whatever it is. If it's a friend that you made at school or some sort of gathering, whatever, you kind of vet that person. You just don't open your door to any strangers that pass your street there, and you kind of invite them into your house and have them meals and sleep into your bedroom, and because you don't know what that person is going to do to you or to your family while you're not looking. And it's pretty much the same way with this open borders. We don't know these people are. We don't know who these people are. As far as I'm concerned, I know there are a lot of criminals coming over from all these countries, and they want to harm us, and they want to harm American citizens. We just let them right in.
Right.
Right. I will invite all these people who they support open borders. Why don't take them to your houses? Take them to your houses. Don't rely on the government, American government, to actually pay for it. Just if you're so open to this policy, just take them to your house and see how it works, and then maybe you're going to change your mind. I'm sure, like, and quickly.
Yeah, like when they all went to Martha's Vineyard, or when they all went to
they couldn't wait to get rid of them.
I couldn't wait to get rid of them. The same people up there that are calling for these open borders. It's interesting how the people who know no consequences from it are the ones championing it.
Yeah.
But you coming here legally and going through the process, basically showing America that you care about American values enough to learn about them and assimilate to the American way of life, where these people, their first act when they get here is to break our laws, and they have no intention of assimilating at all. All they're coming to do is use us.
Correct.
Or hurt us, and a lot of people
take advantage.
Yeah. And all of our taxpayer dollars that are going to fund now their health care and their education and their housing and all of this, it's insanity. It's insanity.
And yet what is actually even more frustrating to me, and I'm sure to you and most of the conservative people, is that, you have our own veterans and our own people who struggle that they should be taken care of. And take care of your household first, then you move on to the outside people. This is if you cannot take care of your neighbor, then forget about bringing other people from other countries, because you can't take care of them. And I feel like this is a way that America does it right now. Our government, it's like they're letting all these people in, but yet our own people struggle. And I think it's wrong.
So we want to leave ladies with two lingering questions today around these two issues. One, if you're talking with someone this election season about the open border, and we hear Kamala Harris saying things like nobody that comes into our country should ever be criminalized, and these people should have access to anything that they need as a human right. When we hear these kinds of things, we need to be able to push back on it, ladies. So the one lingering question that I could leave you with today would be, when, just like Daniela just said, do you have an alarm system on your house, or do you have a lock on your front door? And if they say, sure, say, here's where I get lost. If you have a lock on your door at home, and I would assume that's to keep your family safe, why is it okay for us to not have one on the border of America? So that could be one lingering question. Another one earlier when we were talking about Marxism, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, when you're talking with someone who's championing Marxism, you can say to them, you can ask them, you can say, here's where I get lost. Can't a government that could give you everything also take it away? And again, that's all you have to do, is just drop that question and then leave the conversation, leave the room, whatever you need to do. And then when you see them again, formulate your next lingering question. But this is the way we have to get people to challenge their own beliefs. Now that you're getting the backstory today, ladies, through Daniela, you're hearing the backstory, all the things that can happen. You can't go in and lead with all that, because people tune out. But if you can go in and having that backstory, now you can formulate your own lingering questions, and you can get them to challenge their beliefs. That's what we're trying to do here. Not argue our beliefs, but challenge their own. So Daniela, I want to leave today with the song, the special song and video. And can you tell us a little bit about it? And I'm going to play it here for everyone.
Yes. So this song is a song that my husband wrote, and it's my whole family playing in the song. We it's a very dear to us, and I think this song brings people to the main focus is, and it's just to God. We need to focus on our Lord. We need to bring America to God. We need to bring America under one single deity, and that's just Jesus Christ in America. As long and God, because if we turn back to God, He will bless our land. That's a promise. That's a promise, and I don't remember ever God not keeping His promises. So I hope you guys will enjoy our video.
That's awesome. Yes, we're going to play it for you now. Daniela, thank you so much again for being with us today and for sharing so openly. And thank you for your heart for our country and for this wonderful song. I hope we have you back again soon.
Will do. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, ladies, and here's the song.
Anybody seen
what?
that good old American dream?
What dream?
That good old America that I was raised on.
Tell me, Dad, what was it like?
Baseball's flying high and Mom baking apple pie. And a Sunday morning sermon, leave a teardrop in your eye. Has anybody heard those good old American words? Those good old American words, in God we trust. Our forefathers knew that He was the supreme authority. Without Him there was no peace, without Him no liberty. Save America for our founders and our heroes' sake. What are they doing to our children? Human trafficking and heartache. God save America. It's time to stand. If we turn back to you, you promised to heal our land. God save the USA. God save the USA. Has anybody heard those good old American words? Those good old American words, one nation under God. Our forefathers knew the key to peace and liberty. Held by someone much greater than all of us. God save America for our veterans and warriors' sake. What are they doing to our country, Lord? You alone can heal our heartache. God save America.
Ladies, I hope today's been a big blessing for you. I want to remind you again to go to ladyupamerica.com and make sure you sign up for our book club. We've got book club going on nationally, training you up for the toughest spiritual battleground of our lifetime. And just as Daniela's song just showed us, we've got a lot of work to do on this battlefield. But if we will pray, humble ourselves, turn away from our wicked ways, and go toward the Lord, He will hear us and He will heal our land. I'll see you next time. Lady up.